Welcome back, everybody. I'm pretty excited today to show you a unboxing video of a game that I recently purchased. It's not this game, but it relates to it quite closely. Now, back years ago, when A Song of Ice and Fire from CMON Games came out, I joined Asmodee as a demo table. Essentially, I run demo tables at tournaments. I went to several Games Workshop or 40k tournaments in the GTA, and I ran demos. I ran demos at Canadian Hot Lead Convention and Ragnarok Convention. And essentially, I spent an entire summer of my life promoting this particular game for CMON, or well, Asmodee at the time. CMON didn't know anything about me, but I did it for the publisher. Or the distributor, whatever it was. Anyway, this was my favorite game, or one of my favorite games, but it was my favorite game for about a 2-year period. And I did that. I did the demoing all on my own time. I got my own stuff. I bought my own stuff. They sent me some promotional material to hand out at the events, but other than that, it was all on my own. And that was because I loved this game so much that I wanted it to succeed. And the only way that I could figure out to get it to succeed and make sure there was a thriving community in the GTA was I went out and I did the demos, as many as I possibly could. At one of the conventions in the GTA for Warhammer 40k, there was hundreds and hundreds of people there, but I basically demoed this particular game, A Song of Ice and Fire, for essentially all the girlfriends and wives of the players of that tournament, because a lot of the players brought in their girlfriends or their wives or their family members with them, and they were kind of bored hanging around. And then there's my table with a free demo. Come over, a half-hour demo of a different game, pass the time. And it went really well. And I don't think anyone could disagree that the game has been a success. There's been ups and downs in the game, especially a few years ago. There was a lot of distribution issues with the game where you couldn't get anything. But that seems to be resolved. And they're just throwing out stuff for this game left, right, and center. But today's unboxing is not about A Song of Ice and Fire, which is about George R. R. Martin's books that he's written and still has yet to write. We won't go into the politics of him getting to finish these books. But essentially, this is an amazing game, but it's a rank and flank game, where you have these bases, and you have about 35mm miniatures that you move around, you turn the bases, and you fight. I'm sure most people who've watched this channel know what I'm talking about. But there's a new kid in town when it comes to essentially the A Song of Ice and Fire series, and that is Game of Thrones. And I'm talking about Game of Thrones, the TV show. So there's the book game, the game on the books, and now there's a game on the TV show, and it's just called Game of Thrones Miniatures Game by Knight Models. Now, hit the brakes. There is a lot of people that will say, Knight Models, they have a kind of a half sketchy past. There's been some stuff going on in the background years ago that I don't get into. I don't know. I just know that Knight Models makes some really, really crisp miniatures. I do collect some others. I collect not really for the game, but they have a DC game. I collect these just to paint the miniatures, not to actually play the game, just to paint the miniatures. And essentially, if I want to play a Game of Thrones game that I really like, or a tabletop game in the Game of Thrones world, I already have one. I already have one in this, and I quite like it, and I've collected heavily into it. This I bought just because I liked the actors and characters on the TV show, especially the early ones. Again, hit pause. We're not going to go through what happened to this show near its end. But the first 5 seasons, you can't deny, and I can't deny, they were amazing. And I loved the characters. And this is a game licensed from HBO by Knight Models for that. And it is a skirmish game. Not a rank and flank like A Song of Ice and Fire, but it's a skirmish game. It came in the mail the other day, and I thought I'll do an unboxing. I've taken the wrap off just because I don't like fiddling with wrap. It makes weird audio things. And you'll see here it has essentially like, pardon me, like this game, which is a Stark and Lannister starter set. This is also a Stark and Lannister starter set, sort of, because it has a Lannister faction and a Stark faction. And the models have the likeness of the actors. You see Robb Stark looks really good. Cersei looks amazing. The Mountain I don't know about. Jaime looks more or less. And these two, Roderick Castle and the mother, Catelyn, she looks really good. And then there's there's a direwolf in there, and then there's some peons. And we're just going to take a look at it. It's it's Game of Thrones. So let's pause after my cat jumps around a bit, and we'll go down and look at the box. Now, before I take the lid off this box, I just want to point out my four-legged friends that will be running around. They are very docile creatures until I come down into the basement and I turn the big light on right there. Then they think it's Party Central for some reason. I don't know if they think it's the disco or what's going on, but you've never seen animals so lively as when I come down to this basement. But anyway, let's very basic box. There's nothing too spectacular about the box. It is whatever. There is, I guess, a rulebook and tokens sheet. We'll put that aside for a second. There is, I don't like that so much. There's a big, heavy deck of cards, and the cat's like, box. This is Ollie, by the way. How you doing, buddy? And then the miniatures are just in baggies, kind of tossed into this box. That doesn't fill me with joy. They could be sliding around in there all the way from Spain. There's not a billion, but there's a lot of models in here, and they're all in pieces. They're in thermoplastic. That's right, I'm just looking at what bag's what. This looks like Lannis. No, this looks like, I don't know. They're all mixed and matched. Here is the pre-order special Eddard Stark. There's his head there. His sword. Ooh, that's a lot of flash on that sword. That's going to be fun. There's Eddard. He was a pre-order special. If you ordered it on the pre-order date, you got Eddard for free. And since Sean Bean is one of my favorite actors, Richard Sharp, here's the Direwolf, Grey Wind, and some Stark soldiers. This is some Lannister soldiers and Jaime, I think. What's this? This looks like heads and Cersei. I'm just going to open this here. I'm just going to fiddle with this and just show you what we're dealing with. There's a lot of cleanup on it, but the details are really nice. There's definitely some bubbling right there. Ew, there's a lot of cleanup on these. That fills me with fear and dread. But as long as the faces, there's another shield, we won't worry about that. As long as the faces kind of turn out, and I don't know how gentle to be with these things because they're just thrown in the box like that. Are they? Bow and arrow, is that bow miscast? Or broken? It looks like it is. Sword. Keep that aside. Yeah, the packaging for... Now, it said it's not resin. So, if it's not resin, it's thermoplastic, which, fine, it looks kind of like it is. Maybe they're a little bit more durable than you would expect. They're not the same scale as the Song of Ice and Fire stuff. Here's a spear. It's pretty damn straight, so that's good news. Let's get into this head. That's the mountain. Cersei's weird looking cup that's kind of deformed a bit. Who's that? I don't know. Some dude. Halberd. Again, lots of cleanup on all these models. Oh, and a cat here. How the hell that got there so quick? There's Cersei. Now, does that look like TV show Cersei? Not really, but anyway. And there's Jaime. Jaime actually looks better. On the painting, on the box, Cersei looked good and Jaime looked weird. But in reality here, when I'm looking at the raw heads, Cersei actually doesn't look quite like Lena Headey. Maybe she does. Anyway, okay, so that's just one thing. I'm wondering if that bow is supposed to look like that or not. I'll have to check. I don't want to open all these things in front of you. I just want to show you that the game exists. Keep the video short. We'll look at the details on this standard. Really nice. Again, apart from the cleanup. We'll look at some of these faces. Wow, individual teeth on that guy right there. Looks really nice. Who's this? Oh, this is Catelyn. Yeah, that kind of looks like her. Wow. Wow, okay, that's nice. A Stark shield we'll take a look at. Wow, that is crisp. Wow. Really nice. Who do we have here? Robb. Yeah, that looks just like him. Wow. Can't deny the figures look like the characters so far. Here's Grey Wind. Don't look like I'm going to enjoy cleaning out the teeth. There's some, but still. And then we'll do Roderick all by himself. Roderick Castle from the season 1. He looks good. So that's some of those. We'll look at some bodies. Big fan of the Game of Thrones series. We'll just look at a Lannister body. Decent enough. We'll just take a couple more. What I might do is I might pause the video and show, I'll show a half body here. That's probably the mountains. I don't know if that's how that goes. What I might do is I might pause the video, or no, we'll take a look at Eddard first, and the rule set and the cards, actually. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll do a separate video, I think, on the miniatures, because I have to assemble these. I thought it was just going to be a matter of assembling them over a course of like an hour or two. But no, it looks like it's going to be like an all-day project. Here is Eddard. Oh, I love the cloak. Really nice. Let's take a look at his face. Does it look like him? Come on, zoom in there. Yeah, for the most part it does, yeah. But that is a lot of flash on that sword. How am I going to find out what's flash and what's not? Jesus. Gonna have to take my time with that. Okay, so there's Eddard. We'll take a look at the rule book. Again, this is a skirmish game, not a rank and flank like the previous game. A Song of Ice and Fire by Simon. Now here is the rule book. Look at all the scouring from it moving around in the box. Now the miniatures are just lying in there like that in baggies, so. Oh, full color, that's nice. 39 pages. of which 15 to 30 are rules. So 15 pages of rules, then some scenario stuff, army creation stuff. This is what you get. 2 warbands, House Lannister, House Stark 8 and 8, some card terrain, which will, it's just card. Some cards, tokens, some dice. Oh, yeah. Some dice, some bases. Okay. Oh, okay, so the book is nice. Ooh, that's nice. Now I have a fondness for the Song of Ice and Fire game, so I really like the characters. It took me a while to get used to, but I couldn't resist the miniatures here. Just even if the game turns out to be nothing special and I move on from it without really giving it a good shot, just painting the miniatures I think will be a lot of fun. And there's only 16 of them, so you know, when you're in the midst of doing a big army project, it might be nice to stop and paint one miniature and then continue on your army project and then stop and do a miniature. Anyway, here's some glamour shots of the characters. I'm not sure how anyone's supposed to paint these models quite like these, but there's lots of you guys out there that can do that. So there's the rule book. And then you got some tokens. Not really a whole lot to see there. The terrain kind of pops out and you stick it together. Not a whole lot special to see there. And then last, there's this bunch of these cards, which, if I open this, I'll pause it while I struggle here. We're back. Okay. Just looks like card-driven game. Chosen ground. Play at the start of an enemy model's activation. If that model ends, move within place within 4 inches of a friendly marker. Move the model with 4 inches. Okay. So, yeah, it's a Song of Ice and Fire has very similar cards. Like, not cards, but there's a card mechanic to the game. There's also a political component to the Song of Ice and Fire game. I wonder how this game will... How will Tyrion and Cersei and Catelyn, how will they affect... And here's the Lannister cards. So the cards are not... Oh, and there's some... The cards aren't very overly graphic, but that's nice there. I like that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, there's 2 cards. And then there's some Clash of Kings. These are scenario cards. Okay, so standard stuff, I think. Now with this game came 2 expansions. And I ordered them as well. And they also come in boxes like this, except they're tiny. Here is the Lannister expansion, which is tiny, and the Stark expansion, which is, again, tiny. And in these, you get 4 figures each, so now, instead of 8 a side, now I'll have 12 a side. And you get what looks like Bronn, an amazing looking Joffrey. I can't wait to paint that one. That's sort of scumbag he was. A dour looking Tyrion. Looks like he's on trial. And then the Hound. And then what else do you get? 4 plastic bases. So that's just it. There's nothing. Let me just see what we get here. No cards, nothing. Just more figures. So... Okay, excuse me. So, without making any kind of joke, Tyrion's figure comes pre-assembled. And that's a really nice figure. Wow. And what I can do actually, I can do a scale comparison to the other game. Here's Battle Tyrion from A Song of Ice and Fire, and here is Gloomy Tyrion from Game of Thrones. So, what would you say that is? This is 32 mil and this is 35 mil? He's slightly bigger, obviously. He's not slightly, he's a whole head bigger. So if I put this foot here down to there. Anyway, That's Tyrion. So one more look again at the face. Really nice. Wow. Okay. I'm happy with that. Here's the scumbag extraordinaire himself. Oh, I don't like where that placement is on the head. Sorry, I keep knocking my camera. Looks like him. But I have to detach his cheek and chin? Come on, Night Models. Why would you do that? I hope that breaks off really easily, because if it doesn't... Oh, dear. That might piss me off. Okay. I'm trying to see if there's texturing on... There is texturing on that cloak of his. Okay. Sorry I keep knocking my camera. It's right in front of me, and the cats run around and push me. Here's Bronn's body. Is there a Bronn head? Oh, it might be in the other bag. I was going to say, I don't have any heads for him. That scared me. Alright, let's just do this on camera, just to waste everyone's time. I'm very nervous taking them out of these bags, because they look fragile. There's just some arms of the Hound. Let's see, what do we have for Bronn? Oh, that's the Hound. Come on, zoom in. Whoa, wow. Wow, I love the damaged face, the burn scars. That is amazing. Whew. Okay. And then Bronn. Yeah, that looks just like him. Wow, good job. I'm excited. Do I have Bronn? No, I don't. Just one quick second. I'll just show you Cersei from A Song of Ice and Fire and Cersei from A Game of Thrones. So here's my version of Cersei and their version of Cersei. You can see the scale is not quite the same, but it's not like way off. It's just not the same. So that's the Lannister pack. And now we'll do the, again, just 2 bags. We'll do the Stark pack, just 2 bags. Make some room here. Very professional. Thank you all for tuning in to such a professional production. This one has, who does this one have actually? This one has Hodor and Bran, Osha. Obviously that is the 2 daughters. What the hell are their names? Oh my god. What? Sansa and Arya. Weirdly, though, it looks like they've taken famous poses of the characters from the show, but from different seasons. So they're not... So, oops, sorry. This is like a late season Stark and an early season Joffrey and early season Bran. Odd choice, but I guess whatever. What can I do? No, I'm starting to get distracted. Okay, here is Headless Hodor and Headless Bran. Really nice model. Do I have the head there somewhere that I can look at? So here's the Hodor head. Wow, that looks really good. That one does not quite look like him. Something was there and something was there. I wonder what that was. Again, the packaging is just... leaves a lot to be desired. I guess that's this piece that was somewhere. And that is... This is... why can I not remember this girl's name? This character's name. Sansa. Not really, but... and then this is Osha. Kind of. And then who do we have left? We have Arya left. Wherever her head is. Her head is... Oh, that's her head right there. Sorry. Right there. Maybe. And let's look at Arya's body. I'll do a separate video where when I assemble them, and I'll show you what they're like assembled. Pretty good. And then here is Osha's body. Pretty neat. I liked her character a lot. And then Sansa has... What? How does this work? Where's the rest of her body? I don't know how this... I have no idea where the rest of this body is. It looks like it's half a body, and then there should be a top half. But I don't see it. Okay, well, when I struggle, I'll figure that out on my own. What's next? Oh, yes. I wanted to show... Now, this won't be exact. But here's Hodor and Bran from A Song of Ice and Fire. This is my version of them. And I really like this model. And then here is Hodor and Bran from this one. And now the scale, actually, right there. Pretty damn close. If I put the legs down next to each other. Shoulders are about the same. The scale's not far off. Not quite, but not far off. Anyway, that is the Game of Thrones miniatures game, along with the 2 expansions, the Stark Wolf Pack and the King Joffrey's Court from Knight Miniatures. Again, not Song of Ice and Fire, but pretty neat. I look forward to painting these models, especially Tyrion. He doesn't have to be assembled, so I'm really happy about that. And yeah, again, thanks for joining in, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.